All right, everybody. Listen, I got feedback from the last video that you wanted more screaming. Let me tell you what gets me screaming. Let me tell you what gets me grumpier than just about anything in movies is remaking great movies and turning them into absolute trash. And that is exactly what I believe Zack Snyder is going to do with Escape from New York. Maybe. I am 99.9% sure he is going to screw this up. And so that's if you want grumpy and cranky and yelling at the screen, this is what's going to get me there. Let me show you what what it is I am yelling about. Okay, so here we have it from Deadline. Zack Snyder to direct reimagining. Reimagining. Nobody wants that. I don't want Escape from New York reimagined. I want it to be left alone. I want Jaws to be left alone. I want Raiders of the Lost Ark to be left alone. Feel free, by the way. Go ahead and leave. Is there a movie that you think should just be left alone? Leave me a comment down below. So here we go. From Matt Grobar sharing this, Zack Snyder is set to write and direct a reimagining. Nobody wants that of Escape from New York, the dystopian cult classic from John Carpenter. See, the word classic is in it. Classic. Leave it alone. Deadline can confirm. Details as to the plot of the new film remain under wraps. Studio Canal announced it at CinemaCon in April. The picture companies Andrew Rona and Alex Heineman will produce through their overall deal with Studio Canal, which shares rights to the property with Carpenter. Zack Snyder, Deborah Snyder, and Wesley Collar will produce via Stone Quarry, with Carpenter serving as executive producer. The project is intended for release in theaters. Now, I don't care that Carpenter is serving as executive producer. He will likely not be on set. He's going to get his name on there because he did the original, but I don't think Carpenter is going to have a whole lot of input into the actual movie. One of the most influential science fiction, another sign you should leave it alone. One of the most influential science fiction action films ever produced, Escape from New York introduced viewers to the eye patch wearing anti-hero SD Snake Plissken by Kurt Russell. Who are you going to get to replace him, by the way? Who is going to play Snake Plissken? Who's going to do a better job? Likely nobody. I'm sure there are some candidates out there, and I don't think I like any of them. So, a decorated special force veteran turned federal convict who is coerced into rescuing the U.S. president from Manhattan in a world where the entire island has been turned into a maximum security prison. Released in July 1981, the film grossed more than $50 million worldwide against a $6 million budget. Let me ask you a question. Does Zack Snyder have a good record of having return on investment on his movies? Some of them. Attempts to remake Escape from New York go back decades, with various studios and creatives eyeing the project at different points. Joel Silver, Robert Rodriguez, I might give him some leeway. I might allow that. I'll allow it. Known for projects like Army of the Dead, that was garbage, and a number of DC, including Zack Snyder's Justice League, was mid. Snyder is currently in post on The Last Photograph, a drama following an ex-DA operative and war photographer in search of a pair of missing children in South Africa. That sounds original. I don't mind that. He reunites on the project with Stuart Martin and for a free stars of his Rebel Moon sci-fi films for Netflix. How did those go? Not great. Not great storytelling. Rebel Moon was an absolute just nothing. It was terrible. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the comments here, which I agree with. Some of the comments here. Why make another film? The original was great, period. We remember how great and successful the remakes of The Running Man and Total Recall were. Right? Right? There can only be one Snake Plissken. And dear Lord, why? I'm so old. I remember when movies weren't all just sequels or movies that had been made before. So yeah, if you want to know what gets me screaming at screens, it is nonsense like this. Absolute nonsense. Now, I said earlier that I'm going to give it 99.9% chance of failure. The only reason I give it a 1% chance of success is that Zack Snyder did do a remake of Dawn of the Dead, one of my favorite horror movies. I saw that way too young, by the way. I'll do a whole video on that. That was way too young to see that movie. Uh, but that was a success. So the one remake that he actually does is successful and done very well. So I'm going to give Zack Snyder the 1% chance that he could remake Snake Plissken and Escape from New York. But you tell me, what do you think? Should we stop remaking movies? Should we just leave them alone? If you think, who should we put in this? Who do you have in mind? Who's going to play the lead? Who's going to do better than Kurt Russell? Leave me a comment down below. And if you like videos like this and you want to hear more screaming from me about movies that are coming out, be sure to go and click that subscribe button. I'm going to be seeing Scary Movie on Thursday, Masters of the Universe of this weekend. So get ready for potentially more screaming and grumpiness, but also maybe some kind things to say. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part today. And if you'd like to see my out of the theater reaction of Backrooms, well, you can check out this video right over here. I'll check back with you with more screaming in the future. Have a great day, everybody.